Testing. Let's see. Not sure if I'm live. Okay, let's see. Something changed. Okay, guys, I seem to be live. That's strange. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. I was on a very nice holiday and had a great time. Back to work already for 1 week. We are busy working on Blade 2, and that's going well. We're working now on a graphic interface. We will have some very cool new features. So yeah, strange. I'm live because normally you have to press go live, but suddenly I'm live. But it's 8 o'clock, so not a problem at all. And today we had a discussion about the drum sounds on Facebook. So I thought, yeah, maybe interesting idea to do some creating in Punch-2 with analog drum sounds. So somebody did mention, and he's in the chat room, mentioned the KR55. If I'm not wrong, this one is partially inside Punch-2. If we go here, I made a KR55, maybe a sound, especially the snare. That's a typical a KR55 sound. So if I go here, so go edit. Here's the snare. It's the classic 4 clean. That's the one which is a sample from the KR55, the core KR55 drum machine from at the end 70s, early 80s. And these Hyatts should also be from this machine, but I need to check that. So you hear a bit of reverb on the snare. So the snares here. Let me see. Yeah, that's the one. And can make it dry also, of course. A little room sound. The Hyatts, I find them a bit long. So they are here, these. So when I go here to the pencil, I could make them a bit shorter. I'm not sure if that was. Sounds a bit better. So this is a bit like a KR55. And I also just sampled a little YouTube video about a drum machine. I forgot that I had owned one also myself some years ago, which is this Soundmaster memory rhythm SR something it was. And I had this one for years in my studio. It only had one output, but essentially the sound, it's maybe an idea to recreate it simply by using the synthesizer features inside Punch-2 to recreate it. So let's play it. I have an audio recording here. So I sampled this from YouTube. This person plays it. So this is how it sounds. Very short bass drum. So the snare you hear, and in the start. So this is the hi-hats. Maybe we could start with creating the hi-hats. So if I listen to this, it's simply a noise hi-hat. So this is. Okay, so you hear that? Of course, this is a different one. And I can see here, maybe this one is already getting close. So if I go open, here we have the Hyatt. Let's see. This is Model 2. You see Model 2, and that one uses noise. So let's make a That's also what is used in this little drum machine. So if I play it again, and you have the open one. Let's see if that one is this one. Yeah, I see this one is also on group 1. Group 1, you see choke, group 1, which means if I hit note F1 and then the other note, E1, it closes the note of the open Hyatt. So if I make this open Hyatt a bit longer, so I can do it here. Hear that? It closes down the Hyatt. And that's of course with a real Hyatt, if you open the Hyatt opens and you hit it again, it of course cuts off this open Hyatt. So this is open. And let's see what we have here. So that one's a bit more higher in sound. So we could see if I could recreate that. Let's see. So I need to use maybe the pattern to go to, so I'll make it a bit different. Okay. So let's see if that is a bit the same as what is playing in this sequence. Okay, now I'm messing up here. Why is this? So the sound, the short one is really short. Okay, I'm playing the wrong. That's the wrong note. It should be the E1. So this is the, of course, that one needs to be. So that's a bit closer to what we have here. Let's play it again. So the close one is so that I need to do again. So, and then make it. So the open Hyatt is. Okay, I'm fiddling around. Okay. So now it's a bit like this pattern which is playing from this drum machine. Okay, now this one is a bit more harder. So the other one is a bit more brighter. So what I go is to the, this is the note E. So if we go to the advanced page, it's note E. This one for the short one, and the long one is F1. And you see both are models, the same models. And so let's first edit the first one and make it a bit higher. So it uses, oh, this one uses FM synthesis. Aha, but that's not the case in this little drum module. So I take another model. Oh, so here that's pretty nasty. So let's mute the open Hyatt. Okay, let's take another bandpass filter. I have most likely something is not okay. Okay, I'm surprised because something is not good. I don't know what. Volume. So I might consider having a bug here. This has nothing to do with the Hyatt, of course. This is something not okay. So I go to Model 2. That one is better. Okay. Yeah, definitely clear a bug in the latest. I'm not sure if I'm having a beta version here. You could not see it. But here it should be Hyatt, but it's the wrong noise. It's not the, it's a pink noise instead of white noise. So I don't know where it goes wrong. Maybe it's a setting by me, but well, it could be a bug which we have. Okay, I'm checking the chat room. Yeah, cool. Somebody from Orlando. So that's from another part of the aisle. Korg Mini Pop 7. Yeah, that's a classic one too. I think it's pretty the same in terms of sound. But yeah, programming is mostly a problem with these. The KR55 was more a preset thing. So you took a rock or a bossa nova or whatever. So there was nothing to program. It was really like a drum machine inside a home organ where everything was a preset. So yeah, bossa nova, waltz, whatever. Okay, so we have a showstopper here for some reason with the Hyatt model. So I wonder how that works out with the other presets. Something is off here. So I see the noise filter. Yeah, it's totally messed up. So hopefully it's a beta which I'm running here, which causes this problem here. Okay, so I created this little preset, and now I'm stuck because the hi-hats, I don't get the hi-hats as they should be. Okay, so for that it stops this whole thing. I think the bass drum you hear from this drum machine, it's a very short bass drum. It's similar to what you hear from a CR78, because if you go to C1, the first, you see this bass drum is classic 1 clean, which is a original CR78 bass drum. The classic clean 2 is an 808, much longer of course. Then you get the 909, then a 909 with some distortion. Yeah, these are presets, by the way. These are not, if I go back to classic here, I also can pick up here. So this is a preset created by using the classic. We have the classic 2. Here's the model 909. And this very short one, I think that was from the KR55. So the original CR78 is a bit better. So yeah, I mean, the cool thing about Punch-2 is that, of course, you can use synthesis to make your own drum sounds. Really like a synthesizer. So if I go here, you see it's a combination. This is a sample. But here we have a bass drum, which is essentially sounds a bit like an 808. But it's done using synthesis. So that's the advantage, is that you can do different things to the sound. So the bass drum, I could say tune it. An 8, now an A. And of course I can make it longer. So in the studios, they often use a compressor to have a more longer tone. And this simply can be done by using the amp hold parameter, which can make it insane long. Of course, this is too much tempo for hip hop. So let's make it 70 beats per minute, or that's too low, 84. Of course, that bass drum is too long. This is more better. So this is then a model. And the cool thing is that you always can save it when you have something nice. But if you go here to the classic analog, this is then, for instance, simply the original 808, which is sort of and that's the cool thing. Here you can say, okay, I go here to one of the presets. Here are the different banks for the bass drum, and you go to hip hop, R&B, and then you have the option to go a lower, lighter. These are the kind of presets. So I need to make it longer. So this is not an 808, but yeah, far more freedom. And here, what is cool, you have this distortion option to give it a little bit of edging. Yeah, then snare. So that's also something maybe that I want to point out. This is a sample from a snare. It's one of my own collection samples. Punch, you have a lot of features here. It's a bit of tuned. But still, by using here, so if I change a bit things, I can fold over distortion. Yeah, that's really shouting and making it shout. So this normal snare and a bit of fold over distortion up over this snare. That goes to FX1, reverb. So you see, oh, you want to make it shorter bass drum. A blob. Pattern, where's the bass drum? And that's cool about the sequencer, you can say. Tune it. Or make it shorter. Or longer. You see, all kind of tricks. That makes the sequencer interesting because the first, so groove one, the first track is the bass drum, and you can change the tuning of the stamp or the length of the timing of the envelope. So yeah, that kind of thing you can use. And the other thing is also the first pad is also available up here. So if I would go back to this bass drum again, using the advanced panel, I get tuned, it's a G1, so essentially so you can use in the upper range, it's a copy of this. The first pad plays also melodic in the upper range, and you don't see it, I think, on my keyboard. Yeah, a bit of it you see here, my thumb. So yeah, it really hits then different options in terms of sound design. Having a little sample. Oh, you mean the snare? Make that one shorter. Yeah, sure. You always have every option go to the snare. So here we have the amp, which controls the volume control. So I'm just playing. So now it's the snare shorter. It's up to you. or make it. Oh, that's also cool, by the way. If I go to the sequencer, well, there's a second one playing. Which is that? Wait, I need to check that one. There's a second one playing, I think. So I go to pattern, groove 1, snare. No, it's indeed 2. It's snare 3. This one. It's the reverb, which adds a nice. But also here you can change, making the groove interesting, simply by flame. Of course, you need to have the flame opening. You hear this flame? So I play sequence 1, I put off the kick. Hear that? And flame you put on here and on the right side, because now this here is about this groove 1. So here you select these flame lengths. That's too short. I could give each note a flame, of course. But it was cool on this one. So now, so it's only one sound. It's only the snare, which is by the sequencer totally changed in the groove. Therefore, these sequencers are cool. That is one of the powerful things of the sequencer. And if you simply have something playing in the background, so if I go to, let's see, to the first part of this song, let's see if it fits. I need to go back to the first bar where a few sequences are playing. So give me a second. So where should that be? Hopefully the tempo, because I had a problem somewhere. So the tempo is wrong. I'm not sure why this is. There's something in my Cubase in this song which messed up totally the beat. So everything changes, but I have no clue why this is happening. I did something wrong. Huh? So I need to go back again to this other bar where this drum computer is playing. So what happens? I change the tempo, but for some reason these sequences don't catch up on that and totally are in a different tempo. So for some reason, I mean, these programs, they can do so much that, yeah, if you hit something wrong, it's the whole timing is gone. I have no idea. So this one, it's me total magic. Why? Oh, this one was 120 beats per minute, of course. 1 second. This was the original sample. It's a bit messy the first time after the holiday. So let's see if it doesn't pick up. So I'm not sure, guys, what is happening. It's I messed up somewhere. Things no inside Cubase. So let's go back to Punch, because otherwise we lose track. So what you could do is, if you have a sequence with other stuff playing, then you simply trigger things with Punch-2. So it's only playing now the groove 2. too high in tempo. But yeah, you get my point, is that by simply triggering, you can trigger. So this, for instance, you could shut down the bass drum and use Groove 1 only for adding the snare in your music, instead of having the snare here. So this sequence really makes from this snare a totally different thing. So that's the reason why we added the sequence, because you have in this sequence different controls. Okay. Yeah, totally in the soup. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, no. Well, it's. I don't know what is going wrong, but something goes wrong here in the thing. Yeah, somebody asked about Blade Runner sounds, and of course, although I did not have Blade Runner next to it, maybe I even should do this someday and then recreate this sound, which is done on the CS80. I'm going now back to. Well, yeah, guys, I'm pretty messy today. I guess the holiday was too relaxing for me. I lose a bit of point. Oh, you say that? I don't know. Player, if he's back from a holiday, the first game not always is the best one. So if somebody talks about the Blade Runner sounds, and BIT is of course having some nice sounds which are pretty close, although it's more that I'm more inspired on this sound than that I really recreated from scratch and listened to the original one. So it's more that I make my own image of it. Let's see if we have it here. Although the CS Vangelis, that one is a bit recreated. You see that one, but I had also, let's see if I can find it, Fifth Brass. That's not the one, maybe that one. There are several of them. So maybe that one is a bit close to the, but maybe it's an idea to make it really fully having the original track next to it and then trying to recreate it. But this is more inspired on the, we say that, the sound as it is in my mind, and then create a sound which is similar or just has this vibe. So it's more about recreating the vibe of it. So I need to shut down my microphone so you hear it best. Yeah, that's more synth sound. So I was thinking today, you see a lot of classic synthesizers, and of course I own also a few of them, like a Jupiter 8 and a Prophet 600, but they miss velocity, and velocity is something which adds expression. So here the velocity is removed, so let's add it to the filter, and then you hear. Can close the filter a bit more. So it gives far more expression if you use velocity, for instance. In this case, on the filter here, filter 1, velocity, and also a bit on the volume. So these are some synth sounds, but maybe an idea we had a few weeks ago. We had the laser harp, which we recreated from Jean-Michel Jarre. I think some of you might recall that one, and it's somewhere where I placed it. I'm not sure. It's downloadable in the info section from this YouTube. So check in the playlist live stream, and then you will find one live stream about the laser harp, and then you also can download the preset for a BIT and Predator 2. We did that. Oh, here it is, Jarre laser harp. Typically sync sound. That's what we did, and then maybe indeed also an idea to do this with the blade sound, and not do my fantasy about it, but more really recreating it. Okay, so let me check the chat room. No, the Winston asked, the Jupiter 8 essentially has a normal filter, which you can switch between 12 dB and 24 dB, and it has a high pass filter, and the high pass filter you cannot shut off, and so it's always active, although if you close it, then of course it should be off. Although that's a whole story about filters, that it's always working. But essentially the low pass filter, it has two modes, 12 dB low and 24 dB. And there is no self oscillation on the Jupiter 8. Maybe you don't know this, but you cannot self oscillate, which for instance is possible on a BIT, so that you can create these typical squeak sounds. Let me see if I can have them up, maybe. I think I have them. No, let me see if I have them somewhere. I made these squeak sounds. So there's no resonance self oscillation on a Jupiter 8. I'm checking for these typical sounds, but I don't. So I'm looking in the wrong box. Oops. Maybe here it is. These sounds. Noise, and this is the resonance from the zero latency filters. And of course, we have very fast envelopes. So this is a bit like picture music from Klaus Schulze. Okay, what you hear in the background is the dog. Wow, you hear that? So these type of sounds with a squeak, that's not possible because yeah, the Jupiter 8 doesn't have self oscillation. Maybe they did that because of the audio peaks you can have. Okay, let's see the chat room. So yeah, of course, a BIT has far more filters. Yeah, definitely. Okay, you can hear the dog barking in the... Oh, can you make the sound of the microphone? Okay, yeah, it's of course the point that I hear myself, and then I talk a bit less loud, of course. The dog in the background doesn't understand that I'm talking to you guys, so you think, oh, what is Rob doing? Okay, so Gizmo is not happy that I'm live streaming. Okay, so let's see in the chat room. A dog bite sound, a dog bit. Definitely. Okay, so I was here in this, yeah, definitely BIT has far more types of filters. So if you go, for instance, to the pads, I use, for instance, for the pad sounds to, for Jupiter, you can see, because that's what I also did with the Jupiter, use 12 dB filters. Because 12 dB is less strong than 24 dB, so it leaves over a bit more the higher harmonics, which makes the sound more silky. So for pad sounds, 12 dB low pass is very nice. So this is called dual pad 2. What means is that you see filter 1 and filter 2. And you see also the routing that split oscillator, which means that oscillator 1 goes into filter 1, oscillator 2 goes into filter 2, and both go left, right, and then I have a bit of difference between the cutoff. Other side, right side. So, and if you have this little difference in the cutoff frequency, left, right, then you get really this very bright stereo sound. Okay, a bit jazz at the end. So you hear that? It's and if you go here to 1224 dB, you will hear that the sound it's not only darker, but it has also a different character to it. Okay. And even if I open the cutoff frequency to make it more bright so that it's comparable to the 12 dB, you see, it's really a different character. So this is then more, let's see, this would be more a pad sound, which you would get from a, let's say, a memory Moog. And if I click to original, then you get this pad, which is more from a Jupiter. You hear that, the difference? So really, I click edit, you hear that the 24 dB low pass filter 1 is more like a Moog ladder filter. So that's and this, the original one, is the 12 dB type 2, which is more comparable to the Japanese synthesizers. It's a different type of colorization in this, the second type filter, the CC type 2. And this 12 dB. It's more silky. So this is more Jupiter. I click to edit. So this is more Oberheim, more American style. So you see, it really has a different character. It's not only that, even if you match the frequency the same, it's still a different character because of the filter. So a 24 dB filter from a Roland synthesizer is very much different in tone compared to a 24 dB filter from a Moog. Although both are 24 dB. And I also noticed this myself. If you open a Mini Moog filter fully and you play a saw waveform, if you open then a Jupiter 8 with a saw waveform with a filter fully open, it sounds very similar. But the moment when you start using the filter, it sounds starts to sound differently. Okay, that's back. Yeah, it depends. The second version, it depends, of course. So you mean the edited versions? I'm checking the chat room here. Somebody says, let's see, Winston. Yeah, best is that you sent me the sounds about BIT, which I could dive into. Maybe they are possible to make. Somebody asked about Blade 2. Compatible? Yeah, sure. Blade 2 presets, you can import them. Blade presets you will be able to import to Blade 2. We already converted the Blade presets into Blade 2. It's going to be very cool. It's the same system of spread like Quad. Oh, well, Quad, not really. That's more in the unison mode, the spreading. That's a bit different. What I do now with, essentially with BIT, I don't use unison, which I also still could use, is that simply by panning filter one to the left and the other one to the right, that I make this stereo sound. Maybe I should save the second one, and save this one as a save preset as, I mentioned this as a memory mode pad. So let's call it memory mode pad, although it's not really a memory mode pad, but memory pad. That's maybe better, because it has left-right different. That was not possible with the memory mode. It had one filter, and that's what's cool about the Jupiter 8. You had the dual mode, which makes it 2x4 voice, and I had one pad sound on the left and the other pad sound on the right, and each pad sound was a bit different with the cutoff frequency, which made it really huge in the stereo imaging. Save preset as memory pad. Okay, here it goes. Oh, it's already. No, I don't want to override it. It's already there. Save preset as. Oh, then I really should make it ladder filter pad. Yeah, that's what I call it, ladder filter pad. So I'll make that one available. I will upload it, and in the info section of YouTube, you can download it if you own BIT. So this is a variation. And then I would make the modulation wheel. Let's make that correct. Down. Let's see, because that I think it's nice if you can close the filter. Here's a nice pad sound. So save preset. Okay, so I did that. You still can add unison. You can go wild as you like. I'm not sure if unison makes it even more nicer. Okay, let's go back to the. Oh, where is it? And I'll miss my. So this is the first live stream. It's a bit messy because I'm a bit out of the groove after my holiday, which was very good. Very lazy on my holiday. Memory mood pad. Oh yeah, Weston, that will be also a cool name. Just late because I saved it already. Ladder filter pad. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, maybe I shan't recall it. I think it's a nice name. Rename preset. Memory mood pad. Okay, I renamed the preset. Yeah, okay, there it is. Cool. So I'm checking here. Akis Milas, somebody from Greece. Yeah, cool. I was on Kos, on the nice island of Kos. Enjoyed being lazy, the good food, and the very friendly people. And of course, they have a high level of musicians there. It's amazing how much musical culture is in Greece. It's I love the traditional music there. It's some amazing musicians over there. Okay, yeah, the dog keeps on barking, and I cannot help that. He thinks, what is happening over there? So he's in the other room and hears me talking and doesn't understand what is going on. So, okay, let's check again the chat room. So, yeah, if maybe you have an idea yourself watching this live stream and then about a particular sound, just send me an email to info@papen.com with an MP3 of the sound, and we can look into it, what it is, and maybe I can recreate it, and or maybe you have another idea about next week, Thursday, what we could do on the live stream. Maybe you have a question about a particular product, or today I had somebody mentioned about the glide in Subboom Bass 2, that kind of thing. So yeah, there's always something to tell. Okay. You should create a VST preset player or have a preview of all the sounds of your synths. Yeah, it's the case that essentially with NKS system, they always have a pre here, a audio thing. So they play that note C3. So you would hear this as a preview of the sound. Of course, the amount of presets inside our product line is pretty much insane. So it will be a lot of data because the picture, for instance, Predator 2 has, of course, different music styles, but over 6,000 presets, Bluetooth over 4,000. Most of the other products have over 1,000 presets. So if I would count everything in total, it will be a lot. And there's so much still in there. So it's amazing what you can do with synthesizers. They never get bored. There's always something new to discover. Okay. I got very burnt on Cos Island. Yeah. That can happen. Therefore, they have power source. A library manager. Yeah, one person had a very good idea about maybe using Prisma for something like that. But let's give you an example. So I pick as instrument. Okay. Okay, so here we have complete control. So the thing is, if you can search with complete control totally through all the library which is NKS compatible. So if you have all kind of synthesizers which are NKS compatible or sample library, you can search on these characters, and then you will see Predator popping up, maybe a BIT or a Massive or a complete or a Contact library. So that's the system in which you can cross synthesizers and cross other products. You can search through the whole library. Of course, if you go to one particular product, okay, let's go down here. I can go to BIT, and if I BIT synth and then click here, you see mallet, you get these sounds. And you can have here the audition. So you see you have the volume for the audition. So each sound has an audition. So it isn't loaded. That's, by the way, nice. So then if I double click, it will load. So, and you can go also to, here we can have the other synthesizers. You can go to Quad. Yeah, all kind. And here also, so you don't, if you use complete control of machine, you essentially stay on the left side for selecting your presets. So if you go to pads here inside, and you have of course here the controls where you can change very fast. So yeah, that's the parameter layout which you have for, you see, all kind of parameters we added to it. So then, so if you have complete control or machine, you use the left section to scroll through the presets. And they also have tagging, so you can see, okay, a vowel type sound. So you see in this pad sounds, there are a few of them. And if you double click, it loads. And that's of course cool, you can. And this one uses the vowel filter. Yeah, so that's the, if you really like to cross through all your plugins. So if you have plugins which are NKS compatible, complete control really helps to go search through all the type of sound. So if you go here out, you could say all banks, or you say all instruments, and you go for searching for bass. You say, make a not an involving bass, but something with sub. Let's see if somewhere should be sub. And then you get all kind of presets. It can be any sub contra sine. Oh, so there's an older sub-boom bass. Of course, that one. Sub-boom bass 1.1 can pop up, as you can see. But of course also sub-boom bass 2. Okay. You see here are a few other things which I also installed from the original library. So sub-boom bass 2 could also be. And also here you have the controls. So even complete control has sub-boom bass 1 NKS and sub-boom bass 2. Of course, we had sub-boom bass 1 also NKS compatible, so you might run in both of them. But it's cross of the whole library, everything. So of course, the whole library of native instruments is NKS, so they will pop up. But also a lot of the contact library, which is sample library, will pop up. There are other brands like Yuhi, who has also NKS. So if you search on presets, you really go through all the available plugins on your system. It's a very, very clever system. Okay. I'm checking here the the chat room. Sorry, sample room. I wanted to say. Okay. So I need to open it and to see and answer it. So okay, somebody already asking about the difference between Quad and Vecto. Yeah, there's a big difference between them sound-wise. Vecto also has samples on board and combines it together with the XY between the 4 oscillators. You can. It's a very interesting concept. And Quad is more phase distortion and phase modulation. Doesn't have samples, but there you shape the sound by using phase distortion and wave shaping. Oh yeah, somebody asking me if I did have to self-oscillate myself after my holiday. Well, actually, I've been in Greece to Kos, and Kos has no cases at all. But what they do is when you arrive there from the Netherlands, they do pick some people out and they test them on corona. And if you are having it, they will pick you up from your apartment or your hotel. But it's totally free from it currently, most likely because it's an island. And hopefully it stays there free so that people can enjoy holidays. And when I came back, of course, I came from an island which did not have any corona. So I did not have to go into quarantine. So everything was fine. And of course, I'm already in quarantine for 23 years, being in my studio creating music and music software. So I'm used to working from home. Okay. So let's see if I can open add track. I add Vecto. 1 second to show the difference. Need to load it. By the way, Blade 2 is gonna be very nice the way it looks. Vecto, you see, we have 4 oscillators. So these sounds, Vector is a bit more related to Bluetooth. Only it's user friendlier in terms of usage because it focuses only on the Vector feature, and Bluetooth has besides that a lot more other stuff like FM synthesizer thing, 6 operators, that kind of thing. And of course, Vector originally was designed for Reason, and therefore everything is in one place. And you see pitch wheel and modulation wheel, which is always added in a rack extension from Reason. And it's a very, very nice synthesizer. You can use this movement here, or you can say direct, and I can control. You see, this is the choir sound. And Oscillator 2 is a choir sound also. It's an O sound. And then you have a eerie ring affix sample, and then you have a digital waveform. And you can vector between these 4 sounds. You can record it, so here you can record and replay it. You can edit it. That's 4 steps, I can make it 32. So from that part, it's really a great sound for ambient music. I think it's definitely also one sound synth which I often use for pads. It's a nice ooh sound. These are all kind of pad sounds. So here in this patch, I combine essentially a Jupiter pad sound together with the vowel sound. I played a few wrong notes, so oscillator 1 for the pad sound. And then on top of that, choir sound, and there is also oscillator 2. So oscillator 1. This makes the pad sound. So this is like if you would be in the 80s, you would stack a Jupiter 8 sound together with an emulator. And now you have it for 99 bucks in one synthesizer called Vecto. of course, yeah, you can make it spacey. But if you want, you just change a bit here, the envelope. So these are sounds which are essentially, yeah, not possible with Quad. Quad really, again, has different sounds. So each has their own focus, and that's, I think, which I mentioned in the last live stream ahead of my holiday, that it's the whole, if you have the Explorer 6, it has different phases. Raw synthesizer is different. Raw kick is, again, different compared to a Punch bass drum. You have Quad, which is different compared to Vecto. We have Sub bass 2. They all have different things. Because sometimes you had a sound which is maybe similar, but that's because sometimes I create Jupiter-like sounds in Vecto, but also in BIT. So, okay. Let's see in the chat room. Yeah, the ARP sounds in Vector are very cool. I'm totally agree, because you can use this movement also. Yeah, that's a good point. And of course, we have the brilliant Jamal stuff. Let's see if we have a Jamal ARP sound. It's of course the case that the arpeggiator is more basic compared to the arpeggiator like Blue 2 or Predator 2, but you see, it depends on the guy who is turning the dials. Here it's very creative usage of the modulation matrix. Of course, that's more, or maybe it's in the R bank. So this one uses a cajon. This is a percussion wooden box. Yeah, it's fun. Really a great synthesizer. Yeah, they're all great. Each has their own focus. It's okay. Okay, horror movies. I mean, okay, guys. Yeah. So, yeah. We are already over an hour. We had some nice interruptions by Gizmo, the dog in the background, because he doesn't understand what is going on. We hope to see you next week again. If you have a question or a particular sound in mind which we could discuss, just send me an email to info@papen.com and we dive into it, and we see next week what we will doing. And you always can watch it back in the playlist from YouTube called Livestream. And then the other thing is you can subscribe to YouTube, and but you also can click on this bell icon, and the bell icon makes that you see faster if there is a new video or if we are live. So that seems to be something you can do, to click on this this little icon, this little bell icon, so then you get notified a bit earlier. Okay, thanks for watching. Stay safe and enjoy making music. And see you back next week, guys.